Hey, welcome back to Real Takes, where we are all movie love all the time. I'm Ann Stott, and we are doing an abbreviated version of Real Takes this week because I opened in a play here in Provincetown at the Provincetown Theater. I am in the world premiere of Sarah Schulman's play, The Lady Hamlet, which is smart, sexy, funny, and speaks directly to this moment in history that we are in our country. So please, please, if you are on the Cape between now and July 21st, come to see The Lady Hamlet at the Provincetown Theater. I'll link to tickets below. And if you aren't and want a few movies to watch, I thought I'd come in and share a few films with you. But first, for all the obvious reasons, I will also link to several abortion rights organizations in the description below because of the crisis we are now in this country, thanks to our regressive Supreme Court, many members of which were nominated and confirmed by presidents who never won the majority vote in this country. So here we are, with the will of the majority of the people being overturned in this country. And there's much work to do and much help needed. So I will be linking to abortion rights organizations in the description. Also, this week is July 4th week coming up. July 4th is coming up. And so I thought that I would highlight a few movies about or involving the immigrant experience, since the immigrant experience is fundamentally the American experience. So the first movie I want to just highlight is Minari, which was written and directed by Lee Isaac Chung and stars Steven Yuen, Yeri Han, Alan Kim, and Youn Yuh Jung. And this movie was a festival and awards darling a few years ago. Came out in 2020. And got a lot of attention, but I love it and want more people to see it. It's loosely based on Lee Isaac Chung's personal experience of his Korean American family moving to the Midwest in the early 80s to farm, and what that transition was like, and the sort of pressures and tensions within the family brought on by that transition, and the cultural isolation that they were living in that time in the early 80s. It's beautifully shot. It's beautifully acted. Everyone in it is moving and present. And Steven Yuen and Youn Yuh Jung got a lot of attention and were nominated for awards. But I just want to pause for a minute to talk about Yeri Han, the mother in the family, who just gives a stunning performance. I was so moved by her in the film. So anyway, lots of great acting, beautiful story that we definitely haven't seen before in American cinema. Highly recommend Minari. Next up, we go back to 1948 to I Remember Mama, directed by George Stevens. Now, George Stevens had come up in the 20s and early 30s in Hollywood as a cinematographer, and then had a really successful career before World War II, making kind of light Hollywood fare. He directed one of the Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers films, Swing Time. He directed the first Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy film, Woman of the Year. He directed Barbara Stanwyck in Annie Oakley, which is super fun, classic Hollywood watch. He did 2 comedy rom-coms with Jean Arthur, The More the Merrier and The Talk of the Town, which are both delightful. The Talk of the Town also has Cary Grant and Ronald Colman in it, which is so much fun. Love triangle film. But like a handful of other directors in Hollywood, he then went to work for the government during World War II, filming battle scenes and making newsreels and, really promotional films to help, keep morale up during the war effort and that sort of thing. And seeing the war up close like that changed him and changed the kind of work that he wanted to be making. And the first film he made after World War II was I Remember Mama, starring Irene Dunne and Barbara Geddes, among a host of others in an ensemble cast. And it's a beautiful story about an immigrant family, struggling to survive in San Francisco at the turn of the 20th century, not the turn of the 21st century, obviously. And it's one of my favorite Irene Dunne performances. It's beautifully shot, and it's just a lovely, quiet family drama centering around this strong, powerful matriarch figure played by Irene Dunne. So George Stevens would go on to make A Place in the Sun and Giant and Shane and The Greatest Story Ever Told. So he made these big, epic Hollywood dramas that are talked about a lot and widely considered to be, very important films in the history of American cinema. And I respect all of those films and like them all. But I think I Remember Mama is a little underappreciated. And so I wanted to talk about it today. And please watch it if you haven't seen it. Highly recommend it. Lastly, but not least, I want to talk about Everybody Loves Somebody, which was written and directed by Catalina Aguilar Mastretta and stars Karla Souza, Jose Maria Yazpik, and Ben O'Toole. And it's a love triangle film. It's not a drama about the immigrant experience. It's a rom-com about a first-generation Mexican-American OBGYN living in LA whose parents have moved back into Mexico in their sort of dream home on the coast. And it's a love triangle set within kind of a family comedy. And it's a lot of fun. Everybody in it is great. It's a smart, sweet rom-com, and everybody's gorgeous in it. Everybody's beautiful to look at, and kind of a light, sweet take on the rom-com that we haven't seen a lot in American cinema, and a representation of the Mexican-American experience that I also don't think we've seen a lot in American cinema. So super fun. I'm giving you some summer fun here. I promise to start giving you more fun. This is part of it. Everybody Loves Somebody. Great rom-com. Please enjoy any of these films. I'll link to where you can see all of them in the description. And I will see you next Wednesday.